hits the road. Hard talk meets great music. Monday to Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. on NETT Radio, taking you above and beyond.
South Africa, you're pushing my back against the wall. I'm calling the tribes of cannibal. I man decide to put on his boots and march to defend his roots. Say, calling them Juju, calling them Zulu, shouting and shanty, calling what you see in South Africa and Rhodesia. Let go run like water. Prepare my brother for the bloody river. Just remember, brother, bloody blood and water. Stay up, Zimbabwe. Stay up, Zimbabwe. Stay up, Zimbabwe. Stay up, Zimbabwe. I know this fight won't be so easy, but you got to get rid of the enemy. If you don't get rid of the enemy shall get rid of me. My people, you see, we have no choice, so Africans hear my voice. Hey, calling them Zulu, calling them Juju.
Well, we are making a call this afternoon wherever you may be.
Calling what you see.
Regardless of where you may be, we are welcoming you inside the Drive Time Exchange. And of course, you are here on New Era TT Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond. We welcome you all inside of the Drive Time Exchange. And of course, inside of the Drive Time Exchange, this is where we are joined by none other than journalist extraordinaire, Tony Fraser. Tony, good afternoon to you.
Afternoon to you, Charlo. How is life?
It's pretty good, actually. It's pretty good.
That's good. A good day today. The weather treated you well?
Yeah, well, I've been having a good day since yesterday, you know.
Okay. Spots of rain here and there, and then calm weather.
Yeah. But I had a little extra reason to celebrate. You know,
Okay.
yesterday I had another addition to my family, my third grandchild.
Wonderful, man. Wonderful.
So
You're
that
going
had me
forward
and has me in a
providing-
real wonderful place.
That's great, man. You're going forward and producing.
Yeah, now the others are producing, so the lineage continues.
Wonderful. Well, good to hear that, man. And congratulations to the parents and the grandparents.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, this afternoon you started us off, Charlo, with vintage and classical Valentino. By that I mean it's one of the songs that has marked his career, his ideological position, where he stands, for what he stands, and his assertion of his people moving forward from where they are at the present time. and he's with us this afternoon. As we indicated during today, he's going to be here, and he is here. He moved out of his seat for a moment, but he'll be back soon, I am sure, to talk about his life, to talk about his calypsos, to talk about his, as I indicated, and the ideological position, where he stands in all of this, and very importantly, his interpretation of where Trinidad and Tobago and we in Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean, where we stand in this world of variety and difficulty and all kinds of things. So we are very happy to have with us this afternoon the man christened as Emerald Philip, but known as Valentino. Welcome to the program, my brother.
It's an honor to be on your program.
Yeah, man.
I'm honored.
And it's an honor to have you here with us. It's a wonderful feeling. I have talked about you and written about you for 40 years plus.
Yes, I'm quite aware of that.
Yeah, I think the first time I wrote about you was after the show of Blood Brothers.
Yes.
That's sometime around 1978.
1979, 79.
Right, 79. A wonderful show. At that point was the greatest exposure of Calypso I had seen for a long, long time. Well, it's the first time I had seen it. I don't know what was before.
that was a brainchild. That was a brainchild of Astor Johnson.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And of course, your blood brother Stalin, who passed on recently, and I am sure that you still ache for him.
Yes. Memories don't die, you know. Memories always live.
Especially good ones.
Yeah.
All right. So this afternoon, we want to start from as far back as you can remember. This is about telling your story to the national community, indeed to the international community, wherever anyone wants to tune into this program. Once they have internet access, they can tune in. Chalo, come back in for the moment and tell our listeners and our viewers where they can see and hear this program internationally.
Beautiful. So you can pick us up right now on YouTube and also on our Facebook page. We are now streaming live to those two areas at New Era TT Radio, right? You can also get us in our website at newerattradio.com. And if you are listening on TuneIn, you can get us on New Era TT Radio. Yeah, so those are the places where you can get us right now.
Right. And of course, once you're on internet, you can pick us up on any one of those streams that you talked about.
Definitely.
All right, so let's go to Valentino. Let me start at a position. It's known, you've talked about it, being born in Grenada and coming to Trinidad and Tobago. And you are not the first, and I'm sure not the last Calypsonian that made the trek from Grenada to Trinidad. And indeed, I'm sure you're aware, if you go to parts of the deep south of Trinidad, Grenadians in abundance. I went to Striker Village, which was once called Butler Village, and everyone in the area came from Grenada. So talk to us about your place of birth and your coming to Trinidad.
You see, staying on that point, Grenada was like the new, like how the Trinidadians used to want to go to New York. The Grenadians used to want to come south. They call South Trinidad.
Okay.
And all the Grenadians' dream was to go south. So that migration started since even before my father's days and mother's days, you know.
Right.
And it just continues. So at an early age, even before the age of 5 years, I migrated with my parents to Trinidad.
Okay.
And that is where my whole life started.
Right. Any particular reason for why your parents came and brought you to Trinidad?
For the same particular reason why the Grenadians, the dream was to come to Trinidad, like the Trinidadian dream was to go to America and other places. You know, so I mean, that was always the Grenadian dream. Either to go to Trinidad or to London. Yeah.
Okay, and they came, and of course you're not the only Calypsonian who some were came as even younger than you, the Mighty Sparrow,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
some came at a later point, Bomber and
Yes.
it's a small island pride.
Caruso, Small Island Pride, you know.
Yeah.
Just to name a few of the popular ones. Campanero, you know.
Right, the
Yeah.
Soulfish Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine, a good calypso man who plays his music in the Central Market, told me that one day I must put on or write about all the calypsonians that have come from Grenada and St. Vincent and so on. And what we used to call long time small
Well,
island people.
I guess a great fraction of those call them outsiders or what make up a very, I mean I had a big fracture of the Kaiso fraternity, a big piece of Kaiso. You know, we responsible for a big piece of the Kaiso in Trinidad.
All right. And colleagues, your colleagues like Blakey, like the Bartok.
Yeah, you know, Blakey was always on Wikis.
but you know, he talked about a show that he did in New York. He sang all other kinds of calypsos, and then the Grenadians in the audience stood up and insisted that he had to sing the Grenadian. What is if you say box?
Send them back here. Send them back.
Yeah, right.
Send them back. Yeah.
And they loved it when he sang. So the pecan going back and forth is always welcome.
Yes. But and you see, Kaiso's words, you know, sometimes I have expression, but not expression of hatred or animosity, you know. It was more like pecan.
Pecan,
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Okay, so you came to Trinidad. Give us an appreciation of where and how you grew up to start with.
Well, to start with, when I came to Trinidad, I left Grenada, not consciously, and what I was told. Carnival Sunday evening and a landing in Trinidad, the Juve morning, Monday morning, and I can remember very clearly. Up along Circular Road in the entrance to Bellevue. I don't know if you're aware that
Yes,
event.
I am very well aware.
Yeah, that little area to swing into Bellevue.
Yes.
I could remember seeing pans and a crowd assemble right in that junction, like they was getting ready for a festival.
Okay.
And my mom said, "This is Juve morning and this is Carnival in Trinidad." So I was accepting, and I mean very culturally because like surprisingly, Juve morning. And in the entrance going into where I wanted to live for the first time, I saw this gathering and this steel band. So, it was so kind of, how to put it, strange and yet, kind of, I couldn't explain it then.
Right.
And then my mom said, it's carnival, and that's how the people are on the Juve morning. Because I was only 5 years old, not even 5 years.
Maybe it foretold your future.
Of course. Yes. Yeah.
A signal.
Yeah.
All right. So, where did you go to school? How did you grow up? What was
like? In the village of Bellevue, in those days, they always had private schools, as now too.
Yeah.
So I was not of the age to go to school yet. I was still, like a couple months before I reached 5 years. Because at the age of 5, that is when you have to enter school.
Right.
So at the age of 5, I went to a private school. And then after I went to Mukwapu Boys RC. That is Young St. James, George Carver Street. And after that, a couple years after my old man died, I was never an A student. So if I had to get any secondary education or that, that was to be paid for.
Okay.
So I spent about 2 terms, taking secondary education, secondary school.
Mhm.
The old man had to pay for that, of course.
Which
And
school
then
was that?
was a private secondary school. You know, there are these private secondary like
Yeah.
Osman, and that
Progressive.
secondary school was up Bellevue, where the Syrian Lebanese club used to be.
Okay.
A
Okay.
guy named Mr. Harris used to run a private secondary school. And it was right in my area. It was just a walk to school.
Right.
But at that time, you know, I mean, like my old man was not too well, and he never lasted too long. So I only had 2 terms of secondary education, and my old man died. And at the age of 16, well, you know, I was on my own, sort of away because
Yeah.
the old man died, and you know, I mean, in our days, you know, mom's struggling, doing servant work, working for $30 a month, $1 a day. You know, these domestic servants.
Yeah.
So you know, you had to fend for yourself somewhere or the other.
Mhm.
So I
In
started
a in a real way, your real education started at that point.
at that point. Yes. So you know, as a young man, you're bouncing from here to there, looking for a future, looking for something to hold on to. I mean, like I, I, I I tried learning trade at Makaneni. You know Makaneni,
Many Olstons, yeah, of
yeah,
course.
and then there was a printery on Marine Square. I think it was Jules Printery, one of those printers. I learned electrician. I tried my hand at tailoring,
Mm.
mechanic, electrician. I'm not the next one. Something else, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
Um, where my career really started was in the tailor shop. That was the last. That was the last place. You know, mainly I tried to learn trade. After mechanic and electrician and printing and these things, I ended up in a tailor shop. But you know, tailors is some kind of people that they love to hear music. They always have a radio, and
Mhm.
tailoring work is a kind of relaxed work if you don't have nothing to do. And from the tailor shop, I was inspired because you know, calypso was our thing in them times. We never had no big set of other music. Like no, it was the merengue. Now and then the Venezuelan turn up a merengue. But more or less, you know, it calypso because sometimes we had to go to a christening or wedding, the music they play and you're dancing to is calypso music, you
Yes,
know.
yeah.
You understand? So my mom and dad, they were calypso fans. And as a matter of fact, like I told you, calypso was the dominant music at that time. Now and
Mhm.
then you hear you say we have one and a Billy Exile from outside, you know, or a merengue from down the main, but the dominant music at that time was calypso. So my influence started from home.
Okay.
Listening to calypso, my influence started from home.
Mhm.
And as a matter of fact, my old man used to send me by Sagums to buy record. We used to pay $1.50 for a record, and he used to say, "Boy, hold that record good because if that record fall, it won't break." And that was it. So when I buy
Mhm.
them record by Sagums, these 70 speed record, I had to be very careful, hold them tight. You
Yes.
jump in, right? The same entrance I came in Bellevue at the starting of my life,
Right.
you
Right.
say.
Right.
There a bus stop right there.
Okay.
So I used to take the bus right there and drop out right back where I come from and just walk home. So it was an easy route, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And Sagoms was on Frederick Street at that time, if I
No, in Marine
remember.
Square.
Marine Square. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yes, they
Mm.
were down there first, and then they moved up to Frederick Street
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
by St. Mary's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. But but in the early stages, in my time, it was in Marine Square.
Right.
No Independence Square.
Okay. So now, from attempting the trades and ending up with tailoring and so on, how did you move into the calypso arena to think that you had the talent, you had the urge, or whatever to get into calypso?
Well, you see, I'm very, you know, whenever we're learning things, and listening, I learned the art of singing calypso. I developed the art of singing calypso. And you know, you have to start to, if you want to sing, you have to start to sing something somebody else sing before you start to get into your thing.
Right.
So I developed the art of singing, and I love to hear Kitchener because he was very simple in his lyrics. You know, I used to like to hear Kitchener. Among other Calypsonians were beginner, and you know, the latest I saw they did that is playing on the air. You know, my ears will catch it, and you know. But that love for Kaiso, it started to overflow in the tailor shop.
Okay.
Um, you know, the tailors and them have a way, you know, they make pants. They ready, them guys are ready to show the art to cut pants and things. What they do, they make up the pants, they show the pants, so you have to make the fold, you have to hem it, and you have to put in buttonhole and this and that.
Right.
And it was just, I mean, like that routine over and over. And when you're learning trade, they don't get money.
Okay.
The most tailor might do for you is to make up pants for you. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So they said, well, look, it's about time I go on a hustle. And just up Long Circle Road by the
So,
corner there,
sorry, where was the tailor shop?
in St. James, right in St. James, at the bottom, as you cross over Monoram Street and you go across the road, as you come down
Okay.
Monoram Street and you cross over the Western Main Road, there's a
Right.
tailor shop named Hurst Tailor Shop.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So after, you know, I realized, well, look, this tailor thing, it had too much living in it because, I mean, you must want $1 to spend too.
Of course.
So there was this factory up by the Long Circular Road they called Juicy.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Corner of Long Circular and Western.
Right.
Right.
I know these young boys, all the young boys, you know, that them fellas, they're going to make a hustle by Juicy. What we
Right.
used to have to do there was to assort bottles. No bottle, you know, they have Pepsi, they have Juicy, they have ginger ale. You just put all the bottles in the right case and you
Right.
assort them. So that was my work. That was my hustle.
Right.
But then, you know, sometimes you catch yourself humming a song and singing a song, and the other Chinese man named Mr. Ku.
Mm-hmm.
He used to deliver drinks. You know, when people call for, you know, they call the company for 2 case, 3 case, or whatever. Mr. Ku is the man who used to go and deliver it. So at times he picked me out the crowd. They used to call me Robin. That was my name, Robin. That was my first guy's name. He said, Robin, come go and drop some students with me. But it somehow then, you know, like he got come to the understanding that I had love Calypso to the point that where I was interested in him singing, you know. So ever so often now he always used to pick me out of the crowd when he have a job to make. He always used to pick me out of the crowd. And ever so often he used to say, Robin, sing something for me. Let me hear how you're singing. And I used to sing for him, and he used to. That is the man I get my greatest motivation for.
Okay.
Chinese man named Mr. Ku,
All right.
and he tell me that you say, Valley boy, Robin. He say, you know, you could go and sing your kaiso whatever, and if you find things rough or whatever, you could always come back by me and make a little hustle.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so fortunate that my first try at kaiso, I didn't have to go back to Mr. Ku.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That's when my career started.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Did you develop the name? Give yourself the name Robin?
yeah, but it was stolen from me, you know, because the
Okay.
guy who Trinidad and Tobago knew as Robin,
Robin.
he was a young sparrow, you know.
Yeah. A fancy dresser.
Yes, he was a young sparrow. And let me get this piece of history. The first Kaiso tent I sang in was a tent named the Big Bamboo on Park Street,
Mm-hmm.
where Skipper was the head of that tent. Men like Creator, Inventor, Conqueror, Prowler, Chicky Chong. It was a nice crew, you know. This Chinese guy who used to sing Kaiso, a fellow named Creator.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we had a nice crowd. And Young Creole. That's the first place I saw Young Creole. And after that, they used to call Selassie. You know, like everybody name just come right in front of me right now. And you know, Calypsonians just hardly forget it. Especially when I go through the experience, you know.
You can't afford to forget your lyrics.
No. But let me tell you something. At the ending of that season, I lost my name and I lost my Calypso. Because the fellow who Trinidad and Tobago knew as Robin, he was a young sparrow, and I was singing as Robin in the tent. When the season finished, he recorded his Calypso. He was singing a Calypso named Inez under the sobriquet of the Mighty Robin. So that was the end of my name. And to add insult to injury, the song I was singing that entitled Schoolgirls, Creole stole that song and recorded. So you had to love something after going through these experiences. And then to add insult to injury, Conqueror come and record Woman and Money, which was at that time, where it was supposed to be a hit then.
Yeah, it was a big hit. I remember Bob Gittins playing it all the time on Radio Trinidad.
Yeah, so I mean, like you had to love something to get in it, and if I really didn't love it, you know, I mean, like maybe I might be doing some other thing but I might be singing Calypso. But the love of Calypso, you know, is what kept me going, you know. And I lived through all these difficult times, you know. And when Kitchener came down in 1966, and he said, well, he's going to open his own tent. I went to audition with Kitchener, but I didn't have any name because, you know, so after I sang 2 songs, he said, well, what is the name? And that's in front of a crowd that getting ready for Calypso tent. So you have musicians and Calypsonians and down by Kitchener. It's December month, and man getting ready for the tent. After singing 2 songs, say, what is your name, boy? Well, that was the biggest joke in Calypso, because I haven't. So everybody, how he could come to sing Calypso and he don't have a name? And everybody, even Roger Board and all, trying to give me a name, and everybody, and out of the blue, Kitchener said we go call you Valentino. And in the midst of everybody, musicians, Calypsonians, and everybody, the guys have a way they used to socialize long time with a drink named Carmen Jones.
Carmen Jones, wrong, boy.
Yeah, with a little short glass, and they threw it on my head, and I was initiated in front of Calypso musicians, you know. Yeah,
that was your baptism.
Yes. So like from there, where everything.
So what did you think of the name at the point in time when Kitchener named you like that?
It was a lover boy's name in it, but I was willing to accept a name because, you know, I mean, and a name coming from the Grandmaster to Kitchener, you know.
If Kitchener says so, is so, right?
So yeah, it was an honor.
Yeah. All right. So how many years you spent? Incidentally, that tent, was it the review? I remember.
No. That tent was Kitchener's. That was the caravan.
Caravan. Okay. Where was it?
The first place the caravan opened was in Queens Hall, and then we went across to Richmond Street.
Okay. That was at the bottom.
Yes, but that building that they moved there was a building at the bottom of Richmond Street.
Yeah. Okay, I know the place. Was it Legion Hall?
Legion Hall. Yeah.
All right. So you in, as it were, you move into the Calypso world. Were you accepted by your peers, the people who were there?
Yeah, well, as a young, they used to call me the baby at the tent. You know, I was the youngest.
All right.
So when Killer and them fellas and Killer and Napemon introducing me, they used to say, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the baby at the tent. You know?
How old were you?
Around, let me say, 1920. Yeah.
And you're bunching up with these big men.
Yeah, yes. And let me tell you, it's real Calypsonians, men like Terror Pretender, no. I mean, it's a real thing I dealing with, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
Young Killer and these guys and them, Napherbone and these guys,
yeah.
Um,
I presume you learned something from being amongst these great Calypsonians of
of
the era.
course, of course, I mean, like those guys that used at the line form and I mean, like you could always learn something from any one of them. They always had a story to tell.
Mhm,
And there was so much on the Kaiso, there was so much on the Kaiso. Like Kaiso was alive, the bread and butter, everything then,
mhm,
and it was an era that I think that will never come back in Trinidad again. That kind of love for Kaiso, the dedication to Kaiso, and even the Kaisonians themselves,
mhm,
that crop of Calypsonians, that's that history.
mhm, mhm. So did that point you in the direction of being the lyrics man that you became? Because
Yes,
somebody would
yes.
tell stories and so on. Go tell us.
And then I find Kaiso was so influential that once you sing the right calypso, you will get a good response. And I always choose to sing things of substance, issues that that modern people, issues that affecting your everyday life. Uh, uh, you know, and not too on the fiction side, and on the smarty side, and
Mhm,
I'm more philosophical and social commentary, that kind of thing. Deal with issues that affect people and whatnot. And well, sometimes you have to pay for some of your lyrics because you could match some people corn, but you're dealing with the issue then. You know,
mhm.
I,
Okay.
I, I might have matched a lot of people corn already, but I admit, but I dealt with the issue, which is the most important
And the fact is, if you don't mash people corn, you're not doing anything. You're sitting down in one place. I like
thing.
it. So Valentino into the world of calypso now officially, singing in the tent with Kitchener. How long did that stint last with Kitchener?
Well, about 10 years, and then as time go by, you have to move from. Well, I must admit that after Kitchener tent, I sang with Sparrow a little while, sang with a tent named Culture House, and eventually I ended up with Tuku, with the, you know. But
Mhm.
as a matter of fact, I'm going to be singing about 5 different calypso tents, in the current.
Okay. Right, right. So back in that Kitchener tent, you were learning and growing and so on, but it was still 2 weeks or well a month or two in carnival period. What did you do outside of the carnival period?
Well, outside the carnival period, sometimes you're lucky to make a tour to America because um, I spend a lot of time out there in America, you know.
Okay.
Canada, a good bit of times in Canada and America. But mostly to the islands, Antigua, St. Thomas, these places, St. John's, we do the whole of the Grenadines,
Right,
that side of
right,
the world.
right. So even at that early period of your development, you were touring.
Yeah, yes, because
Mhm,
touring give you a lot of experiences too, you know,
mhm,
and it was a nice experience for me because in those times too, I mean, Calypso was very appreciative, very appreciative. Sometimes you go on a tour, and a millionaire man might see you because it happened to us already. He have a yacht and he invited you to come and entertain him on the yacht. All these little extra, things,
mhm, mhm,
sometimes. I've been in a place already named called Palm Island. I don't know if you ever heard about that place.
Mhm.
American guy owned that place. His name is John Caldwell.
Wow.
And he owned this a very beautiful little place, you know. They say he owned that and it's of the Grenadines. And we went in the Iron Protector went entertain the place there for a night. And we, they appreciated it so much that they gave us another night.
Mhm.
And all these nice little experiences, along the way, Grenada Expo, Iron Protector, you get to entertain people on the yacht, these millionaire people on the yacht, and we had a lot of nice experiences outside of the Kaiso tent then.
Right. So you didn't have to look for other kinds of work even at
No,
that early period.
no. We used to call that a hustle, that's the hustle.
All right.
Yeah.
Outside
So,
of the carnival.
yes, outside of the carnival.
So, Valentino, what was your first major hit that people in Trinidad and Tobago and the rest of the Caribbean, the rest of the world where you went to, started taking notice of?
Um, I, I would like to say life is a stage. You know why? Because life is a stage is 50-something years old now. And 50-something years ago, apart from Woman and Money, which would have been one of my first hits, I think my first real hit was Life is a Stage, and then people started paying attention.
Right.
I sang No Revolution the year before that, and Birth Control, because that's the year I went in the Savannah with that.
Right.
Those songs was,
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to No Revolution in a moment
yeah,
because that was your response to 1970,
yeah.
and that was of significance. Philosophically, though, Chalo, let's go with Life is a Stage, and we're gonna talk to him as we go along. Music.
To portray down to the scavengers and them barristers, all them doctors and lawyers and these ministers. So this honorable this and this honorable that and this lady so and so is a part all them people playing. I want you to know. So don't blame the politician anytime you find you get bad administration. Oh no, that was meant to be. The fella is playing his role superbly. Now don't blame the judges for their injustice. Why blame the criminals, I say? They come out to play.
Yeah, life is a stage. I mean, so many calypsos to play for you, Tony.
A philosophical look at the world, Valentino. What generated in your mind to compose and sing something like that? Deep, deep philosophy, looking at the world, looking at people, and coming to the conclusion about what drives life.
Well, I must admit that I took a page out of Shakespeare's book. And
Yes.
I must admit, but that was food for thought, and I couldn't let that escape.
Right, right. Now, some people might wonder that here you were not an academic student, as it were. You spent a few weeks in secondary school, and yet you are reading and understanding Shakespeare. How is that?
Well, there's something named self-taught. You could hold on a while.
Yeah, we hold on a while. Let's go back to the music, Chalo.
Yeah.
Say what you want. Believe, I'm not joking. The women are the greatest performers for me. Their role always important, and down to their love making, these people could win an academy. They could put you in heaven. They could put you in hell. Woman could put man places, man with shame to tell. So then a man must want to kill because the party have to play is to love with his heart and soul. So you see where the females always have the better role. Like that begin. So don't blame Christy Killer just because she read the lives of some politicians.
Tony, you know, listening to the story, it's a real fantastic story, and he's talking about so many. So I think I'll try and play the No Revolution one time so we can talk about it, because there's so many songs that we could play from him tonight.
It would have been a horse of a different color. You give them an inch, they take a whole yard, and when you had them under your clinch, people say you're bad. Well, when I heard you address the nation, I knew what was your intention, but some of the powers you exercise, unfortunately, I must criticize. We didn't want them trigger happy police. We only wanted to demonstrate in peace. Yet my people was held and charged for sedition. We was marching for equality, black unity, and black dignity. Dr. William, no, we didn't want no revolution.
Yeah, I think he's back with us there now.
Okay.
You back with us, Brother Valentino?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go to him. So two questions there, or two songs that you have to talk about. You noted that the influence of Shakespeare with regard to life, life as a stage. You know, one of the lines that I really love and think about all, you know, whenever I hear this calypso was, don't blame Christine Keeler. As we know, Christine Keeler was a call girl, using what she had to get what she want.
Yeah.
And you are saying, well, don't blame the woman. You know. Yeah. How did you come upon that line?
Well, because everybody had a part to play, you know, and she played a terrible part, but a very important part in the life of politicians. When I say important, a very important part in the life of politics, not politicians, politics.
Okay. What do you mean by that? Politics and not politicians.
Well, she was more entertaining the politicians. She was more entertaining the politicians, but I would not align her with politicians, because politicians deal with politics. Okay. So I took her to a higher level. I took her to a higher level then. Instead of politicians, the politics.
Okay.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you know, Christine Keeler really and truly wrecked the lives of some politicians, who man these guys and them. Yeah.
She was playing herself, and if they can't defend themselves,
yes.
too bad.
Yeah.
That's how I
and you know, some guy told me about 2 years ago, she must be just died about 4 or 5 years ago, you know. It's so long.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I remember when I heard that she passed on.
Yeah.
And of course, Profumo.
Profumo.
The minister who get tied up. I think you say somewhere in there with a sexy move, something like that.
Yeah.
All right. No revolution now. I think, yes, you came to the attention I think, the national community in a major way with No Revolution in the heart of 1970.
Yeah, well, that was the voice. That was the voice of the people.
Mhm.
That was the voice of the people talking.
Yeah.
You know, um, the people can't talk for themselves. They needed a voice. And I guess from then on, I got the name the People's Calypsonian too.
Yeah.
From that era,
Yeah.
But they really needed that voice, and you know, yours truly.
How did you listen and hear their voices?
Um, from let's say it all started with the oppression and the discrimination that the locals were facing, even to the point when you go in a bank, you could hardly see a dark face. Even in the banks, you know, certain places you know you're being discriminated upon. And to add insult to injury, the system, like it was more on the side of the oppressor. So we was feeling it. And then, well, the police wasn't so easy in them time either.
Mhm.
So everything was coming down on the people, and they had us to retaliate in some kind of way. Even when Basil Davis tried to, say his piece, they kill him. And that raised the answers.
Mhm.
And well, from that time, the things started to overflow
Mhm.
until, well, after that time, regardless of how things get out of order, that they get back in some kind of order,
Right.
you know.
So were you on the streets, marching, listening, hearing the speeches and so on?
At a certain point, but when the things really start to get out of hand, like where I used to live up in Bellevue, they had Camp Organ up there, Long Circular
Right.
Road.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, man. I see them soldiers burn down that place, flat down. When fire brigade coming in there, them men out with a gun and telling them they can't come in the place or they can't come in. That kind of tension because which part I used to live on the hill, I could look up and see everything. And sometimes you take a car from Bellevue and as you drop out in Marine Square, the same car you take, like you have to go back. Same, you just had to make a roundabout.
A long circular.
Yeah. So I get fed up with that and I went Antigua. I went
Okay.
Antigua and spent about 2 months by short shirt. And it's in Antigua, I wrote No Revolution.
Mhm. Mhm.
That song was written in Antigua.
Mhm.
So I left you in the heat of the thing too. But
Right.
I just couldn't take so much because I needed some time to breathe up for myself and some time to think and whatnot. And was too much attention. So
Right.
um, that was the end of my 70 experience.
Right. But nevertheless, you had obviously absorbed the vice
Yes,
before you
everything.
left
Yeah,
and
hard enough,
understood.
man.
Yeah.
hmm
And you understood. What was your understanding of what was going down?
My understanding of what was going down is like how to put it. When you have army soldiers and then trying and then like some in 25 years in jail and the system looking like it were like I mean like a monster
Hmm.
and you helpless as you turn so police you could hardly wear a garment that looking black the police. And it was a sort of discrimination and I really all I was praying for is for what we was asking. That's all I was praying for. We was marching for equality, black unity, and black dignity. You know, that is all.
So did you think that Dr. Williams overstepped his response?
I guess so. Because he wasn't seeing things the way John Public was seeing. And that was the problem. Because then you had to deal with Bowers and them guys, you know. Them fellas were not easy. So,
Chalo, let's get another verse of No Revolution. I think one of the pivotal songs that launched his career in a more significant ways than before in that period of time. Let's go with the music there, Chalo.
Okay.
They talk about power, doctor, it's you who have power. I know when you act, it would have been a horse of a different color. You give them an inch, they take a whole yard, and when you had them under your clinch, people say you're bad. Well, when I heard you address the nation, I knew what was your intention, but some of the powers you exercise, unfortunately, I must criticize. We didn't want them trigger happy police. We only wanted to demonstrate in peace. Yet my people was held and charged for sedition. We was marching for equality, black unity, and black dignity. Dr. William, no, we didn't want no revolution. You must be aware that the black consciousness is here. I further declare it's time that we get an equal share. It's black blood, black sweat, and black tears. But it's white profits. Cause all through the years, it's the white man who reaping the benefits. But now we are coming down from the shelves, and we are getting to know ourselves. So let us hail the stranger for bringing all black people together. Because the fight was against racial prejudice, the imperialists, the capitalists, yet some ignorant people they talk about communism. We didn't want all the setup burning down, and the smashing of all them stores in town. Dr. William, no, we didn't want no revolution.
No revolution at all.
On reflection, Valentino, and just to inform our listeners that we are talking with Valentino about his life, his career, his work, his vision, his ideological. I find your ideological position in that is amazing, that you've come to the conclusion that there was need for transformation in the society. Where you get that from, Valley?
Well, inspiration from sometimes you've been inspired and then you have to thank the master then. You have to thank the master for that sort of inspiration. Because I am an education.
But you have a different kind of education. There are different forms of education, The one they teach in school, that's okay and so on. But the education that you get out on the streets is a different kind of education.
Yeah.
And, the philosophy, and you are really, and you are absolutely right, is that the old colonial dispensation had to change.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Yes.
And did you see that in your everyday life?
Of course, because and let me tell you something too. I had a little experience. I do a stint in the Trinidad Yacht Club.
Okay.
And if you know that place, Trinidad Yacht Club.
Yeah, knowing
the society and whatnot,
Yeah.
And I observe the behavior and the attitude and whatnot, and it's like a real South Africa. That kind of inspire me to comment, to make these commentaries too. it was a kind of colonial slavery, a little kind of slavery thing that that I saw in front of me, and really I couldn't deal with it, and I had was to really actually, you know, comment on it and get that out of my head, because it was bothering me. I mean, like in the sense that why we should go through all of this? What's our reason for going through all of this? At the end of the day, you know, it's a kind of slave mentality too. You know, kind of slavery, something that I was feeling around me, and I know that that's that. I know that attitude of slavery. We had to chant it out. According to the Jamaicans, you had to chant it out. You had to chant out that. You know, because it's the only way, and it's the only consolation we had. You had to chant them down.
Mhm, mhm. And of course, your avenue for dealing with these matters
Yeah.
had to do with the calypso,
Yes, you had to chant them down. Yeah.
the creation of the lyrics and so on.
Yeah.
There was a song that came, a calypso, which came after that, where um, I don't know the official title of it, you will say it, where you were talking about the imposters in the society, the preachers with their velvet gowns and so on coming out, but they're not real.
Barking dogs.
Barking dogs, Charlo, let me hear it.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
One minute.
you go ahead, Vali.
yes, that song too, you know, like, I might match some of the clergy's corn, but, you know, you have to match people corn sometime too, to let them know what time of the day it is.
So, was that an observation that you made about the society?
Of course.
All right, I got that song for you, so let's go with it.
Now this wood is me, and I am this wood, so let my voice be heard. Fix your hearing aid and hear what I say. Wipe your glasses and see things my way. The song that you hear is an angry one, and I am sure if you are seeing things clear, you'll see that all happiness is gone. And then the dogs are back into love. It's a sign that something is wrong. Because every day I wake in this country, I see signs of poverty. The money system getting so dread that some people have to beg their bread. So hark, the dogs go back, the beggars are coming to come. Beggars in rags, beggars in rags, and some beggars in their velvet gown. Now pay due attention to my conversation. Hear me and please hear me well. What's the solution to this situation? The dogs, they are barking like hell. Come on, Mr. Man, you could avoid a big disaster. Why my brothers and sisters should suffer for things they are not responsible for? No, I am not influencing the people to take action. But I wonder if the answer is salvation. Because every day I wake in this country, religion approaches me. The corrupt, the oppressed, they all preach the gospel, so much different tales they tell. So hark the dogs go back, the preachers are coming to come. Preachers in rags, preachers in rags, and some preachers in their velvet gown.
All right.
Ali, you did a hell of a thing in that calypso. You opposed all of the establishment, the
Yeah,
church.
that was a direct address to Dr. Williamson.
Right.
That man talking to man there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You approached and
Yes.
opposed the
Yeah.
establishment,
Mhm.
the church,
Mhm.
the economic system, everything.
Mhm.
How did you get there?
I can tell you again, Mr. Fraser, inspiration, observation, inspiration, street sense, you observe what's happening, and you put the pieces together.
Mhm, mhm. Observation, street sense, understand what is happening in the society,
Yeah,
and then your creative self takes over and
yeah,
writes the lyric.
put the pieces together. Yeah,
Wonderful thing, man. It's a lesson. You talk about education. There's a lesson in perception and understanding and observation.
yeah,
A lot, a lot of fellas who go to university, they can't understand that,
yeah,
Yeah. They understand. You understand what is on the ground by
yes,
feeling
yes,
the
yeah.
pulse of people.
Mhm.
I could hear in that calypso, Valentino, that you feel a certain kind of pain for people.
Yeah, yes.
Go ahead, tell us about that.
Well, I mean, like, let me tell you something to her. Um, Unemployment leaves no other alternative. So we have to teach children. And even those who could afford, it is my belief, when they get that chance, them too does teach. So sometimes in desperation, you know, a man will thief. And we will get on him and get on him, but sometimes the guy really have no choice. And the guy who have, he will still thief.
Mhm.
So how you make that comparison?
Yeah. So your analytical mind went to work on that.
Yes.
Oh, how you develop your mind, Valentino? You talk about you didn't go to no big school, no big university, and so on. How your mind developed to understand and reflect those things.
Well, I don't know if it's a gift or what, but let me tell you this: what you see is what you get. I mean, it's not no makeup. These things come natural because it's where my mind is, where my head is at.
Mhm.
It's where your head is at.
Okay, okay. And you mean by that, what are the things that you are thinking about and the things that occupy your mind and your life?
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay. Um, there's a calypso one of your calypsos which struck me big in the early 1980s after the revolutionary period. And let's play it first. This place nice, Chalo.
That,
And
Remember,
that to me was a fundamental calypso of Valentino reflecting on what happened in the Brotherhood. Okay, Chalo will find it in a second and we'll play it. So Valentino was moving through the 70s, the Brotherhood developing and sparking and so on. And then in the early 1980s, what year exactly was This Place Nice?
1975.
1975. Go ahead.
You talk about a place where the people are carefree living. It is such a place of fun loving, spraying and petting. It's the land where people don't care if Ash Wednesday fall on Good Friday. Man, they love the struggle in this happy-go-lucky way. It's Blokorama, Fetorama, and just now is Masorama. So the foreigner come for carnival and he telling himself after he had a ball. Trinidad is nice, Trinidad is a paradise. It's the foreigner in La Trinity, the people have a carnival mentality. Trinidad is nice, Trinidad is a paradise. They are not serious, very few conscious, so I cannot agree with my own chorus. Trinidad is nice, Trinidad is a paradise. But I hear some people talking about revolution day, changes on the way.
Trinidad is nice. Trinidad is a paradise. The music of Brother Valentino there. New Era TT Radio. Back to you, Tony.
Yeah, 5 years after the core of 1970 and the consciousness that came up there for the black man in the society, you were disappointed.
Yeah. And up to this present time, I'm still disappointed with the result. With the result. You know what I'm talking about. The result.
Yes.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
But I play my part. I said what I have to say. I said it in behalf of the people. And I don't know if it was well received, because you know Trini have a funny way of forgetting. You must play the 170 summit to it.
Okay.
You know, Trini have a funny way of forgetting it.
All right.
And after all was said and done, if you observe what's going on into this present time now, they're back to our Western trend, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it was an era, and I made my contribution towards this struggle. I made my contribution.
Mm-hmm.
I said what I could have said. I couldn't say no more.
Mm-hmm.
It left to you know, to the people, if they really and truly respect, if they respect or they have any regard for the contribution that I made. I don't know how much, you know, but I know a lot of people still respect my input
Yes.
in the 70s, you know.
Yeah.
But we're dealing with a generation now that they had to really penetrate, you know, because you know, it's a different generation now we're dealing with, and a lot of them miss the message. They didn't get the message. Even the DJs that playing over the radio now and playing these songs and things, they don't play these kind of songs again. So you kind of like this struggle, like it disappeared then. And everybody just on a happy-go-lucky kind of right now, which someday or the other, sometime or the other, you may meet it a little worse than in the 70s. Who knows?
Yeah. The revolution still on the boil.
Yeah. You know?
Let me see if I can play a piece of that song for you, the Roaring 70s.
Go ahead.
Remember Basil Davison, Guy Haywood, Brother Valentine, Beverly Jones, Brian Jefferson, the others whose lives went down on the line. I wonder if these people gave their lives for a hopeless cause. For the deaths, all those responsible people, the verdict is yours. Yeah. But Trini have a funny way of forgetting. Their history to them like don't mean nothing. The history that went down here in the 1970s, as though it never was, today and this century. I don't care how they try to tarnish his historic memories. I will always remember the roaring 70s. Tell them to write down this one here in the pages of history. 21st of April, in the year of our Lord, 1970.
Every time I go to a bank, that's the first thing that strikes me. I wonder if these beautiful little black girls, Indian and African, recognize how they get this job. Plenty fellas lose their blood and plenty people sacrifice so that we could change that status quo.
Remember when black people was denied the privilege to work in them banks? You forgot who gave you this advantage, but to end Jack you should say thanks. Remember when white faces used to hold the top position? So let us all give thanks and praises to the 70th revolution. But you know this funny way of forgetting. Hey, your history to them like it don't mean nothing. The history that went down here in the 1970s, as though it never was a day in this century. I don't care how they try to tarnish his historic memories. I will always remember the roaring 70s. Tell them to write down this one here in the pages of history. 21st of April, in the year of our Lord, 1970.
Many people were killed.
Yeah, a lot going on in that one song there.
Yeah. Valentino, how do you reflect on all the effort? Calypsonians like yourself, I remember composer Stalin, a whole set of people, Superior and so on, singing about that, giving direction, Duke, etc. And it seemed to have fizzed out. So why? Why do you think that happened?
That's $1 million question you ask, because we is only thinking for a short space of time, and we don't really live up to the expectations. We never really live up to the expectations and nothing. So you always drop it in the half, or you forget it, and and that is it. You never go the distance.
Yeah.
You never carry the struggle to the distance.
Right. So we didn't take the revolution to its natural conclusion.
No.
Right.
No.
There is another calypso there, Chalo, that Valentino analyzes race relations in Trinidad and Tobago as if he was a professor of sociology at the university. It has to do with Carnival, when the races come together. But when Carnival come and pass, go back to, so if you find that one, I don't, what's the title of it, Valentino?
Carnival Story.
Carnival Story. If you find that one, I think it's an excellent.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah, it's an excellent piece of sociology talking about race relations in Trinidad. Valentino, where you get that from, partner?
Like I tell you, it's only a one Valentino. No inspiration, it's which part of your mind is that, which part of your mind is that. You utilize your thoughts, your ideas, you don't keep it stagnant.
Yeah. And of course, it's based on practical. I suppose you're examining the bands on Carnival Day.
What I think about Carnival in this country. Ask me to give some frank opinions, but I refuse to comment on competition. So then I swing the top the other way. I turn to this man and I say, if it's about Carnival, you want to know, I told him this in Calypso. Carnival is such a beautiful scenery. Carnival is a gift from the Almighty. Of all the places in the world, in Trinidad you'll see. All them races just join as one family. But when Ash Wednesday come and pass, the people just go back to the race and class. So the only thing to bring them together is man. The newspaper man stand up like it is. Of what I said, he was so amazed. I said, from a togetherness point of view, I could prove what I'm saying to you is true. But since carnival is the topic on that subject, I gotta stick. So again, I start to sing my melody about carnival day. Carnival is such a beautiful scenery. Carnival is a gift from the Almighty. Of all the places in the world, in Trinidad you'll see. All them races just join as one family. But when Ash Wednesday come and pass, the people just go back to the race and class. So the only thing to bring them together is man.
Carnival story.
Valentino, is it that you're walking the streets? Is it that you're going places and you're making these observations?
Yes, and I mean, it's observations you could make even around the carnival time to see how the races just come together. And then even as Wednesday, that same bank who play mass and carrying on so in the band, you will never believe. When you see her Ash Wednesday in her attire, in her work attire, you will never believe was that person. Because she's a different person now.
She take off the mask.
You understand? She take off the mask. Yeah.
Let me give you a little personal history. You'll be surprised when I tell you about this. I give you a little personal history of Valentino that I observed. I used to play tennis on the tennis courts in the Princess Building. And I remember one afternoon distinctly, I see Valentino running down Dupre's Drive. I say, but I never see this man move so fast in my life. So I wondering what happening. Well, boy, the later I would come to understand that the man was courting, and the lady that he got married to was a Trinidad and Tobago national netballer. Peggy Castaneda, Peggy.
Yes.
That was I remember that.
That was about 46 or 47 years ago. You're talking about it.
Yeah. How long you're married?
We have about 42 years.
42 years. So I remember that distinctly, because I never see you hustling. So I think, where this man going?
Maybe it was an emergency.
You're going to see Marvelites play, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that very distinctly. So that that was part of the life.
And I know apart from the Kaiso, sport is my life.
Okay.
I like sport. Mm-hmm. Cricket and football. I'm a Chelsea fan.
Okay.
Football. Yeah. And I'm a West Indian fan. Although we're not really living up to expectation, but you can't give up the ship and you can't until.
You can't. As I told somebody recently, that is we can't walk away from that. Oh, you don't walk away.
No. So until better could be done. I stay West Indies.
Okay, so to get back on track with the music, what is another significant? Tell us now what to play. What is another significant piece of music that Valentino created?
Where Kaiso went.
Okay, so that is part of the society.
That is part of the history of Kaiso. And if you listen to that piece, you'll understand the places and the opportunities that Calypso had before. You know what I mean?
In 1912 in New York City, they recorded the first Calypso by Lovey's Orchestra, a band from Trinidad. The record could show. This orchestra was led by George Bailey, the musician, not the mass man. The tune was entitled Mango Bell, so Calypso recordings began. In 1914, 2 years later, Julian White Rose and one Jules Sims gave to Calypso its first vocal recordings. In 1921, Ray Douglas opened the first Calypso tent. And from then to now, I keep asking, where the hell did Calypso went? Cause since in the early 20s, Sargon sponsor Lion and Tiger. Our Calypso music was attracted by a recording company they called Decca. It was recorded before all the jazz and so much other music. But somewhere along the way, Calypso has lost its magic. Just when we feel the Calypso would skyrocket all over the continent, it took a nosedive in the savannah and then back to the friggin' tent.
I think that happens in the thing.
In the early 30s, Calypso reached Harlem's black community, pioneered by Sir Lancelot, the Duke of Iron and Houdini, Sam Manning, Bill Rogers, the Duke of Marlborough, not forgetting Gerald Clark and Lionel Velasco. How long the Calypso was on the international scene, until a man named Molly Amsterdam brought it where the pasture was green. Rum and Coca-Cola, the Andrews sisters said it all. The tune sold 7 million copies, and Lord Invader, he had a ball. $150 US he got for this Calypso, and for composing the melody, Velasco he got something also. To Amsterdam and the Andrews sisters, Calypso made the hit parade. Now today the same Calypso catching his ass to make the green. Cause every day now the people keep complaining, Calypso is dying slow. But it's all them Calypso judges and promoters that have it so.
Yeah, where the Calypso gone? You know,
Yeah,
this is one of my all-time favorite songs from Valentino.
Okay. So Vali, that this is the researcher at work. You dig up some good history there, and you come to the conclusion you're looking
Yes,
for
ma'am.
this Calypso. Oh, you find it yet, or it's gone?
Well, still looking. That guy's so gone.
Mhm.
I mean, like when you check the places that Kaiso went and the people who sang Kaiso before, and the situation that Calypso find itself in today. Come on, man. You know,
What do you
we
think was some of the causes? Have been some of the causes for that disappearance that you talk about?
before, I mean, like the interest is one, and then like the connections that Kaiso should have had, not locally, but the international connection. You know, they didn't promote it enough.
Mhm.
And instead of promoting it, they compete with it, and that's why it is in this state today, because the more compete they had than promote it.
Mhm. Mhm. Uh,
So
I take it that you have some problems with what is being offered today for
yes,
Calypso. Tell us
yes,
about that.
yes. You see, because the people who was involved in Calypso and the places that Calypso went, I mean, it should have been even further at this point. I mean, imagine people like Robert Mitchum, Lionel Richie, Rosemary Clooney, a lot of these people, international stars, you know, they had a piece of the Kaiso, and the places that Kaiso went, you know, like I don't know, like another region again.
Right. Who do you think, who are the people, or what are the systems that are responsible for this Calypso's disappearance, as you talk about it?
Well, the people in charge of Kaiso, they're supposed to promote it. And what they do, they just they make a competition out of it, and everybody fight for the crumbs or whatever, and at that when they're done, next year, there's a cycle with this thing. Instead of promoting the art, you know, and getting some good connections outside with other people who are in the business, I feel Kaiso would have a better chance internationally.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I don't
Some
know.
people,
I don't know if they ever see that kind of relationship outside with people connected with music and whatever.
Tony, can I ask, as you're talking about the calypso and where it's
Mhm.
gone, where it has been in the past, do you believe the politics of the day has changed the calypso and the calypsonian also?
Yes, and it's pretty competition in that straight jacket too, because you find when one party in power, Calypsonian silence, and when the next party in power, they go into tongue on them, and they more so on the politics than they on. On music, Calypso have a lot of different stories than just political issues and confusion. But the competition to have a great influence on this whole situation.
Yeah. Any follow-up question you want to ask, Charlo?
I'm just wondering also, because like in the olden days, where the Calypsonians would have been able to do a lot of touring throughout after Carnival, as he moved up and down the islands, North, South America, Europe, and other places. There was that appreciation. There was market for it at that point in time. Uh,
Yes,
what has changed to cause that market to shrink
well,
this?
I mean, well, you could tell me that because let me tell you this: the king was guaranteed a trip after any king, any Kaiso king. He was always guaranteed a trip, either somewhere. He was guaranteed a trip. Plus that Calypsonians used to go from island to island and fly the art. They're not in New York because I was in New York a good bit of times and Kaiso was my thing. We used to promote the art and things like that. But then in those days, was a self-conqueror. Was a lot of experienced Calypsonian, but they almost realized soon that some of the guys died. A lot of the Calypsonians gone in. So the people was responsible for that kind of program and that kind of, them go on Concrete and Nap and all these guys and them. We used to do that promotion. We had the Calypsonians again around.
Yeah. Some people would argue that it's the fault of Calypso and Calypsonians of your generation for not moving with the times. You have a set of young people now, I don't know if you call them Calypsonians, but they sing in the soca thing and so on and so on. And Calypso didn't
Yeah, like
capture capture that feeling of young people.
well, the had to blame it and the had to blame it on the Caisonian. But I feel that the promotion was not, was not as what it's supposed to be. And and everything you have to promote. We know that you have to promote. Even
So
the
promotion.
even the powers that be. Trinidad is a calypso. Even the powers that be. I mean, like nobody care about the calypso except the calypsonians when you come to think of it presently right now. And it's
The
struggling
crowds at the tent. The crowds at the tents have shrunk.
very, very, very poor, very, very poor. That goes to show. That alone goes to show the interest that the people have in their own thing now. Except the ones who competing for the money and like that. They are the ones who really people writing and hustling and trying to become a kind of business now.
It is a business. It is a business. Tony, maybe this next song might be able to explain where Madonna Soca Father.
Music's something strange. Well, it's time for change. Music for your way. Life up she left. The region gone west. Over hills to the latest beat. With the rhythm one feels, want to move your feet. I say this musical iration. Send off the man in the radio station. Jimmy Bain station, station of the nation. Philip Simmons from Radio 610. One man out on a sofa pad.
Yeah, mad on a soca fry. I think they're probably still very mad on that soca fry.
Valentino showed that he could do the soca thing too.
Yeah, but that really wasn't my thing so much, But according to you, I just showed them, that I could do that too, Yeah. And that was more the inauguration of the soca music, because that was in 1979. No, that was when soca was now on the scene coming up. And that was my contribution. And I leave the music alone because soca music is more entertaining and less educated.
Okay. So is it that soca music and the coming of soca music might have been the genesis for the death of the calypso? Because like when you all were singing calypsos and stuff and thing, what was happening when you all go to parties and thing? People was partying to the same calypso?
Yes.
Dancing to the same calypso and stuff?
Yes. Yeah. But with the advent of soca, it was more danceable music, more music ready to dance and have a good time. Than the average calypso, which will tell you a story and you'll sit down and listen.
Yeah.
The mood had changed, Valentino.
Yeah. The soca changed the mood of the listener.
Yeah, people wanted to dance and prance.
Yes. Yeah. So,
okay, we started. I don't want to miss this out at all. We started with Stay Up Zimbabwe, and I want to go back to that. A couple of weeks ago on this program, we had a fellow called Dr. Derek Brown on the program, and he said he was in Zimbabwe doing some work. He's a researcher of some kind, economist and so on. And he was in a hotel, and close by, he's hearing this music of Valentino. He said he put on the clothes one time, and take off to go to the stadium because you were singing about Zambia. Let's play a little bit of the music and then come back and talk about that stay of Zimbabwe, because in that you took your ideological position firmly up front. People have to know where you're coming from. Yes?
I know this fight won't be so easy, but you got to get rid of the enemy. If you don't get rid of the enemy shall get rid of thee. My people, you see, we have no choice, so Africans hear my voice. Hey! Calling them Zulu, calling them Juju, shouting Ashanti, calling Watusi, in South Africa and Rhodesia. Let go run like water. Prepare my brother on the bloody river. Just remember, brother, blood and water. Stay up Zimbabwe. Stay up Zimbabwe. Stay up Zimbabwe. Stay up Zimbabwe.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Inspiration for that, Valentino. Big song.
Yes, the inspiration for that was Mandela, you know. I made that song in America. Because at the time when I wrote that song, America really and truly was campaigning for the release of Free Mandela, especially Free Mandela. And you know, this guy, Ian Smith, was getting some trouble down in Rhodesia. So the American people was Free Mandela, Free Mandela. And never except in the evening time. During the day, you come like a lock up in a jail. Because I ain't going anywhere, so I had enough time in the apartment, you know, to really and truly give this thing a serious thought.
Yeah.
And I decided, well, look, I'm going to make a contribution. I'm going to give my contribution towards not Trinidad and Tobago struggle, to an international struggle. And that is where it all started in America. We'll be on to Rhodesia, we'll be on to South Africa. I killed two birds with one stone there, if you understand how that song goes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So Valley went international.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you got to perform it in Zimbabwe? How
Yes. I was.
How did that come about?
We had a nice time on a cultural mission from Trinidad and Tobago. I went with Exodus Steel Band, I and my wife. And Exodus, we carry up a contingent, you know. It was a carnival time too, because they had participants from Brazil, and all, you know, about 10 other nations took part in a competition. It was a nice festival. We spent about 13 days down there.
And how was the Calypso received by the audience?
Yes, but it's for the first time. I was the only Calypsonian and singing Step Zimbabwe. You know what I mean? So it was very effective and very, you know, they accepted.
Were they surprised that a man from across the world, a man whose forefathers had left the continent hundreds of years ago,
could relate to them struggles and what's happening? You know, it was a sort of fantastic something, because a guy made a statement. You know what I mean? Concerning me now, and what he was trying to say, that I'm a serious revolutionary. That is what he meant. You know, after listening to the song, yeah, the guy made a comment, you know. I felt good about the performance because I knew that I made a contribution to the motherland. You know, it was a useful contribution. Everybody accepted. And the steel band played on the road too.
Okay.
Exodus.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Valentino, how do you feel now about your career, what you've been able to achieve, the kind of direction that you push the Calypso and the society in? Reflect on that for us.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was a journey. I just look at it as a journey, you know. And you know, along the way in the journey, there's ups and downs, there's ins and outs, and you know, all kind of different things. But at the end of the day, you know, up to this point, you know, I'm very satisfied with the journey. Um, Satisfied with the contribution I've made. Um, I hope that my way as an artist, and I mean, I know I might be different to the other artists, but try and understand my way. You know, I'm a very serious artist, and I mean, I like to really deal with. I don't make no joke when coming to
Okay.
fantasy, reality, philosophy, you know, social commentary. Anything that's real and that is affecting people's lives, you know, you can catch me there. So
Okay.
I see myself as making a contribution towards humanity.
Okay. And has
And
it, go ahead.
no, I'm listening. It's okay. You are.
Yeah. Do you feel it has developed your own consciousness and your way of life
Of, of,
over the period
of
of time?
course, of course, of course. Yeah, yes. It helped me to develop, and you know, that about saying you're never too old to learn. So I'm still developing what the learning stages until death. You know, and I'm always eager and willing to learn.
Mhm. And I presume you'll do it all over again.
If I had to, yes.
What is your choice of the last piece of music that we will play to end this session? What is your choice? Give us a choice and Charlo will find it.
All right. Well, I'll get on to a very simple something. No,
Mhm.
George Goddard reasoned with me at time, and it was a song that I really was shy of singing. But he told me that it was not Chris Simon that invented the pan, you know. And he gave me a paper, I mean, it was an editorial or a newspaper, showed me where a guy named Tony Wilson is the man who really invented the pan. He says Chris Simon played the national anthem on the pan, but he didn't invent it. No, that is not me talking. That is George Goddard, our first um, Taliban president,
President, President of
right?
Trinidad.
You know. So I made a song named "The Pioneers." I don't know if you can find that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for it.
All right.
Yeah, Pioneers.
Mhm. How do you compose, Valentino?
Um, you pay attention to what they're going and say. Your first thing you get is in your mood, because in a mood, you know, when you're in a mood, you say anything. When you're in a mood, that's when you express yourself. So depending on what I have to say, I get in that mood. And then, and the mood, when you get in that mood now, the words just come, you know, and everything that started, you know, the pieces that started come together. But it's a formula that I have, you know, that I mean that I've really used, you know,
Yeah.
and it always worked for me because that is my formula.
All right. Right. Does it come, Charlo? Incidentally, I think "Pan in the West" is the name of the song. If you're looking for it, does it come all
Not
at
not this.
once?
Um, no, when you take a little time, you get in a mood, and then you know what you're in a mood, even a carnival mood, well, you know you're getting a carnival mood. So you mood it, Your words start to come about after after you get your topic, what you're going to sing on. You get in the mood of what you're going to sing on. And then, you take it from there. The topic, the mood, you get in first, and then they'll come after.
Does it happen all at once that you get the whole calypso in one go, or it
No,
happens over a
sometimes
period of time?
sometimes some songs take more time than others. So depending on the song or whatnot, you spend more time until you get it right.
All right, this is the Pioneers.
Double second visit to Chalupan. Came from older spins and Balkans. Now the band is universal. Music international. And then when you get it and a band, hey, that is Victor Tony Wilson thing.
Yeah.
It is the eighth wonder of this world. You can use to come to take control. Oh yeah. The only musical invention of the 21st century and beyond. But we must give Jack his jacket. Speed did not invent it, I must admit. Speed Simon played the anthem called Save the King. On a ping pong, he bought from a man for a shilling. After that came this big steel pan propaganda about who invented this pan was the biggest error. When foreigners hearing music, they want to know if it's magic. Double second visit to Chalupan. Came from older spins and Balkans. Now the pan is universal. Music international. And then when you hear it and a pan ring, that is Victor Tony Wilson thing.
Stuarty Wilson. I have to remember that name, Mr. Valentino.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Valentino, give us your last thoughts as we wind down on the program.
Well, a program, conversation, get together about the art and about my contribution to the art. I really give you all thanks for giving me that sort of exposure, because I know a lot of people will be watching this program. And if not for your program, your radio station, I want to get this coverage. So I want to thank you all for the marriage, first and foremost. And Mr. Fraser, I always admire you, because he's a man who really deals with the Calypso from ever since.
One problem I have with you, with you, Valentino. Where does Mr. Fraser come? Where does Mr. Fraser come from?
I like to put a handle to things when it needs a handle. Don't think that you don't need a handle to your name, but but as we all say, we just make it, very, how to put it, very very normal then,
Yeah.
But I mean, guys like you so deserve that handle,
Yeah. But I must tell you something, that you have been very inspirational and influential in my own work. You have influenced and inspired me. Yeah.
Very glad to know that, and I mean, coming from someone like you, according to the old saying, come like a
Yeah.
already,
All right.
very I appreciate your concern, your the interest,
Mhm.
the
You've
time
been
you
very
take to
influential in my
do this
life.
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
And I want to thank you very much,
right.
for your time and everything that you spend
Yeah.
with
I thank you too, man. And just to note
me.
to our listeners that Chalo, tell us when this program is going to be repeated because this is not the last of it.
No, it's not. It's only the beginning. So you can get this repeated on our station at newera.ttradio.com. You're getting that tomorrow morning, just at around 20 past the hour of 8 o'clock. And of course, it's now documented on our YouTube channel. So you can go at any point in time and see this interview. You can play it over and over again.
Right. And just before we go, I want to thank your son, Valentino. Adi, I hope I'm
Yes, because
pronouncing his name.
that's my manager.
You,
His name is Adi. ADE,
Adi.
Adi.
Yeah, Adi,
Yes.
Adi was very influential.
Yes.
He gave us the
Yeah.
music, the
That,
pictures,
that's
and
my hand. I
everything.
put everything. That's my manager. He deals with all my work. Yeah.
Adi,
All the
thank you.
technicalities, Adi want to
Yeah,
handle that.
right.
Beautiful.
So
Thank you
Adi,
very much, Adi.
yes. Okay,
All
well,
right,
we will, Tony.
take care, my friend. All the best.
Flying in your private jets and helicopters.
Okay. Okay, so Tony, any last words before we go?
Oh, no, just to say that Tuesday is the end of the programming on this particular program. We're hoping to have somebody back next week who had promised to come this week, but it wasn't convenient. Earl Lovelace is supposed to be on Monday, and we look forward to that. Another very significant artist in Trinidad and Tobago, Valentino. Loveless people like that, they come once in a blue moon,
For
and we are
real.
happy for them. So that, yeah, that's it. And come back on Monday, Chalu.
Okay, so you take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and enjoy your weekend and everything. Okay.
Go ahead.
Birds that fly high and fly back down to die. Mr. Big Man, hear the words of this small man. You only creating your own damnation. You make vanity and luxury your glory. But behind that stands a very sad, sad story. What does it profit the man who owns the whole world and yet suffereth the loss of his own soul? Birds that fly high, none of them ever touch the sky. Birds that fly high, got to fly back down to die. So flap your wings and fly. You could never touch the sky. And don't care how high you fly, you got to fly back down to die. Birds that fly high, got to fly back down to die.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters.